loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bella. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. And I've been thinking, I wanted to do some educational videos about eBay and Poshmark and what I don't do as a clothing reseller. So a little background, I have been selling on eBay since my college days, which 20 years now. Let's see, I graduated in 2007 from college. Okay. And back then I was selling books and that I just got hooked on that. Fast forward to 10 years ago when I had my twins, I started selling their clothes, dabbling a little bit in cosmetics, selling that. And within the last 5 years, I've pretty much strictly gone down to pre-owned clothing. So this is going to be a list, and I don't typically write a list if you are a frequent viewer of my channel. I usually talk a lot off the cuff, but I do have some notes here. And so, I don't know, I wanted to share with you some of these things that I just don't do as a reseller in the clothing industry of reselling. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, I don't comp everything, meaning, and if you are new and you're just trying to learn about reselling now, comping just means seeing the prices of items, what I should sell it for. I just don't do that. I have been trying to be better, and I do comp more things. I've just found, like, I have been doing used clothing now for 5 years, and I trust my judgment a lot of the time. You might want to, if you're just starting, you probably would want to comp things. I would say now I comp about 60%, maybe. I'm not totally sure, but I just don't. I typically, I don't have a lot of time to do that. So that is one thing I don't do. Next, recently, within the last couple of years, I don't rely on just one platform. And what I mean by that is I'm a reseller, like I said in the beginning, on eBay and Poshmark. And by doing that, I've allowed myself to not put all my eggs in one basket, essentially. So Poshmark is, if you don't know, it is mostly a clothing selling platform. So about 3 years ago, I started a Poshmark store, and I started moving all my items, most of my items, from eBay to Poshmark as well to get the sales, more sales. And now there's a lot of other options out there, Depop, Mercari. Those are the ones that pop into my head right off the bat. So yeah, there's other options out there, and it takes time. So if you are looking at those and you are looking to move on to other platforms, personally, my favorite is eBay, and then I got into Poshmark. So it's totally up to you. There's people that just do Poshmark. There's people that just do eBay, Mercari. So it's totally up to you. But personally, I have found, in order to keep my store moving, money flowing, I list on both those platforms. Okay. I wrote down, okay, next is I don't ignore customer service. And that might be a given, but I guess what I'm trying to say here is I try really hard to answer any questions about my items that I get from potential buyers within reason. I started measuring everything to help with the typical what's the measurement questions. And when I did that, I cut back. I almost get next to no questions about my items now, because I try to be very specific on if there's damage, if there's a stain, if there's something unique about the item that my customer should know. That is something that I make sure that I disclose. And 9 times out of 10, if a person is interested in an item and they're going to ask you a question about it, they probably are seriously interested. That's what I've found. So save yourself some time. And if you can, get measurements listed. I know it does take a little bit of extra time to measure everything, disclose wear marks, and I have a dress right now I'm looking at, like one of the sequins were off. So that's just something, just make sure you disclose it. That way it'll really save you time, because you won't have as many returns, and they're going to know what they're buying and be confident in buying from you. So I do try to answer fairly quickly, usually within 12 hours. If it's at night and I'm sleeping, obviously I'm not answering. But yeah. Okay, so what's next? I don't steam. I don't know. I've never steamed. I take that back. I bought a steamer. I tried it maybe once, and I just didn't like it. I can't seem to get the hang of doing it for every item. I try to smooth my items out. I wash them when needed. I do use stain wipes. These from the Dollar Tree. You get 12 for $1.25. I can't steam everything. I don't even, yeah. But maybe you would, but that's something that I don't do. So, I don't sell a lot of high-end brands. I sell primarily mall brands. The high-end as I typically get is Athleta. What else? I'm like drawing a blank. I sell like Talbots. I sell Nike. I sell I'm trying to look around. I have sometimes Old Navy if it's a substantial piece. Torrid. So these are all brands that you could go into your local mall and find, and why I do that is because it's easy in my area to find those. I don't live in an area where I can find a lot of high-end brands. I wish I did, but I don't. And for me to find a high-end, I get probably 20 mall brands to one high-end brand. That's how often I would find. I do pick it up if I can find it, but it's just not something that on a regular basis I'm able to find in my area. So, all right, what's next? I don't spend over $8 on an item, and typically not over $5. This is just something over time I've eventually done. I'm not comfortable spending more than $8. It has to be really good in order for me. Now, I never say never. I've recently found an Athleta jacket that had a tag on it for like $89, and I spent $10. So that happens occasionally, but it's very rare. I try not to get too attached to an item in a thrift store and just realize there'll be more. It's more important for me to stay within the budget of what I'm selling and what my goal is in order to keep money flowing and the business going. And typically I'm able to stay within that $8 and not over like $5, because I do a lot of church sales. I don't think any of the church sales I go to have anything over $8. Maybe if it was like a vacuum cleaner or something, they might have like something electronic, but I can't even remember seeing something like that. And so there's tons of clothes. If you do your research, I have found you really don't have to spend that much to make money in this business, in my opinion. Next is I don't do free shipping. And if you're starting out, I highly recommend that you also don't do free shipping. It'll cut into your profits a lot. Shipping, I feel like, is hard to figure out at first anyways. So if you're starting and it's cutting into your profits, you're going to get discouraged. So my recommendation is you do what's good for you, but I have been a longtime seller and I don't believe I've ever offered free shipping. So that's just, cuts into the profits too much. I have been asked to do free shipping, but I don't typically do it. I don't do free returns, but I do take returns. So if you're just starting and you're trying to figure everything out, eBay, let's see. I used to not take returns. I take them now with 30 days, a 30-day return policy, and the buyer pays the shipping to come back. There's there's a few options on that. You can, do return shipping, and as the seller pays for the cost to have the item come back to you. Personally, I find that with returns, if somebody wants to return something, they're going to find a way through eBay to return it. eBay typically will side with the buyer on something like that. And you want to keep your customers happy. You don't want the dreaded negative feedback. So if you can, I recommend accepting returns and, keeping that customer service in mind with your buyers. I think it'll benefit you as well too, because, buyers want to feel reassured that if something doesn't work, something doesn't fit, that they can send it back. And that way you're also limiting like somebody just trying on your item and wanting to send it back, because also they have to pay the shipping to come back to you. So I get probably 2 returns a month, maybe. And yeah, it's just something that has worked really well for me, just doing it that way, because they will trust me when I say eBay will probably side with the buyer. I'm like 99% sure that they would. Just frame of reference, I guess. Okay, so that is my first video about what I don't do as a reseller. I'm going to try to do some educational videos for you all about what, goes on in eBay, what I've been doing over the years that has worked for me, what hasn't worked for me. So if you like videos like this about reselling on eBay, I put out about 2 to 3 videos a week. My other videos include thrift hauls and what's selling and just different things that I do in my reselling business. So I'd love to have you on the channel. Subscribe and like the video. Send it to somebody that wants to learn about selling on eBay and Poshmark. Thank you all. I hope you have a great day. I hope this video helped you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.